bit more coordinated on an overall basis than Dignitas. They were really good at coming up and going around us 5 and utilizing their strategies. They sort of threw everything on the floor in Game 3 against Na'Vi. It didn't really seem as the team we saw in Game 1. So I'm hoping they're able to get past that and bring their A game against Dignitas.
I talked to Fogg during or right after his win, and they said they had like never run Timbersaw mid before, and like picked him second. And I was like, what? That was like your second pick. So I'm not really sure. After that, I'm not too confident in Dignitas.
I was saying the same thing to Bruno. I was a bit surprised. I got back here after the picks were done, and I saw Snaking standing in the middle lane with the Timbersaw, and I was like, oh, they've done some weird rotation, but that was the plan all along, and it seems to
I've
work
never
out.
sine on Timbersaw before.
If they pick Space Cow, Bruno, we know who the bidder was, the winning bid.
We'll see. I actually don't know. It's like, you know, these kind of close bids where you don't know who it is. I just get a paper with money in it, and I open, and then I write the strategy in the paper, and I give it back, and everyone knows which one is which. So I don't even know who is going to be the one.
We'll find out at some point during the tournament. Yeah, so that's Team Dignitas. I'm not sure if we're going to have a pre-game interview with Orange. We'll have to check with you, but when they're ready, we'll let you know. Oh, no, it seems like we are ready. So here's Orange.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with Extinct, with Orange, and really excited to see what you guys do in this next game. But let's first talk about what happened this morning against Na'Vi. You came on really strong with the first round. What do you think happened?
On the first round?
Yeah.
I think they gave us our best hero, I think, because our strategy is best with Visage, and they gave us that, so we played well that game and we won it.
And what do you think you learned from the subsequent 2 games as far as carrying further into the tournament? Any mistakes that you don't want to repeat? Anything you learned that you want to make sure that you do this time?
The biggest problem is I think it's about our drafting, because in the second and third game our draft was not that good and we lost badly. Yeah.
Well, you got a chance to make it up. What are your thoughts on Dignitas?
We saw the game just now versus Rattlesnake, and yeah, they are pretty strong, but yeah, we are quite confident taking them on. Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you.
Lee Kong Yang, KYXY, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Chai Yifeng, Moshi, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Lim Wai Ben, Net, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Ku Zhongxing, Ohio, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Joel Chanjanel, Extinct, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
So then Orange, a team that today took on Na'Vi and were unable to get the victory, and unfortunately now in the lower bracket, and they could have easily, in my opinion, been in the upper bracket semi-finals. It could have gone differently. So hopefully their momentum, they're able to kind of stop the losing momentum and regroup and be able to take on Team Dignitas. They've got a great set of players. They can really come out with top tier plays from all the members of the team. What are we expecting from them?
Well, I'm not exactly sure about the mentality of Orange, because they were starting off in the winners bracket. They definitely, want to win versus Na'Vi, and now they're in this position where they lose just one game, they're out of the tournament.
Yep.
And speaking as someone with the winners bracket experience, dropping the losers, what do you have to say about that?
Oh God.
I don't actually know.
I mean, it doesn't really excite you as much as you'd expect it to, but I did have another 24 hours to go on, and I'm sure Orange went into this day thinking, yeah, we just got to beat Na'Vi and that's it. I don't think they planned ahead and were like, when we're in the loser bracket, we got to do this. Meanwhile, Dignitas has known all along they were in the loser bracket, so they might have a better state of mind going into this.
Yeah, I think they're definitely more prepared than Orange is.
Yeah, so Orange comes off a match loss, whereas Dignitas won one.
Right.
So Dignitas might be having that mental edge.
And they haven't lost a game today, so they might be feeling a little more confident.
And we heard Poppy talking about having the mental edge and that they were a bit weary in their first game against Orange, but that you had to build it back up. And Universe was saying in his interview that he doesn't really get nervous. And I know for a fact that's a lie, because we were sitting in the green room last year and he was shaking and he was like, hold me, Jacob, hold me. I'm really nervous. And then we went in and we lost the game. so
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, he's just full of it.
All right, so I think we're actually going to be ready to go into the game in just a moment. I think the bands will just be starting. So predictions before we go into this matchup. Bruno, do you want to kick us off?
I was checking some of the heroes that these guys play really well. And I want to give a little bit of a tip to both Orange and Dignitas, just to be fair, right? So if you're Orange, you have to give Mushi apparently Windrunner because they're 7-1 historically with it. So your chances are that you're going to win. If you're Dignitas, AUI 2000, AUI, I never know how it's pronounced. I think its highest win rate hero is Tiny. I actually remember. You remember they were really good at Wisp Tiny back in the days.
It's something we haven't seen from them forever.
Yeah,
and
so
I missed that.
I want to see that. That's my prediction.
All right. Any predictions for the best of one?
I think Orange gonna take it.
All right. Ben?
I think Orange too, but it's a best of one. I could easily see this going Dignitas' way.
I definitely think Orange have shown some high-level play here today, but of course, as mentioned by Malk, some of the members of Team Dignitas previously played on EG, but now they're in Team Dignitas. They're only going up in the world, so you just don't know what's going to happen. But either way, all we know is it is going to be a best of one, and it's going to be between Team Dignitas and Orange. So over to the hall and take it away, guys.
Team Dignitas versus Orange.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's our third of 4 elimination matches for the day. The International 3 rages on. By the time day 1 is done, 4 teams are getting knocked out. The winner of this match in the money, guaranteed top 8 finish. I'm LD and I'm joined by Luminous.
I don't want to steal Statman Bruno's thunder.
But you're going to.
But I'm going to.
Okay.
Orange Esport Visage, played by Extinct, has a 78% win rate.
You don't give this guy Visage.
That was the last time I checked, not counting the Navi game that they took today.
And not only does he win with Visage, because to be fair, quite a few of the Asian teams do that, but he wins impressively. His micro is on point. His movements are usually top-notch. They gave it away.
So just to say how good his Visage is, during the stay in China, they played in the Chinese Dota tournament called DSL.
Yes, the Dota 2 Super League.
His KDA there was rivaling Burning's KDA, which is a carry player. So when your support player gets as much kills and don't die as the enemy carries, you're doing pretty good.
But they've given it away. It was a first pick Visage from Orange. The ban's pretty standard. And Dignitas, confidence in the Timbersaw pick. They're going back to it. They go Alk, they go Timbersaw, they go for the big boys, and then the Prophet response from Orange. Heading into this match, just to talk more about Orange's mentality, because I think it is very important. You could be the best team in the world. If you don't have the right attitude, you might not go very far. I had a chance to speak to Extinct at length, and they really felt they should have beaten Navi. They were pretty demoralized after that win, but you've got to be able to put it aside, not worry about it. What's done is done, and focus on this best of one.
Yes, I agree. And Orange Esport, their support has been extremely impressive every time I've watched them, every time I've cast them. And their dual room is just marvelous. So let's see if they could do it, because as we said last time we casted Dignitas just an hour ago, they don't want to fight you and then you can't find them. So it's just like the Master of Nukes on one side versus the Master of Jukes on the other side. Who will prevail? I don't know.
Jukes or Nukes. We'll have to wait and see. Razor banned out by Team Dignitas. And this is a really nice ban because Razor, it's something that Orange have been playing a lot, and it's also very frustrating to lane against as an Alk or a Timbersaw. Either of these melee heroes, you have to be close to the creeps to get the last hits generally, which means easy static links and a lot of damage drain. Smart ban from Dignitas. I like it a lot.
Now today we saw in the Navi series, we saw a couple of interesting solo mid heroes. We saw Tidehunter one game that was pretty nice.
Tidehunter is 2-0 so far.
Yeah, he is 2-0. Maybe only 3-0. Let's see if Orange will pick it and win with it. But are we expecting something crazy on the mid lane?
You know, I think Timbersaw is going to do really well in that matchup anyway. Where Orange has, you look at this team, some of the most individually talented players in the world. What Orange has the most of is talent. Where they do sometimes struggle is what Extinct talked about, which is drafting, and then to some extent their decision-making. But we'll see what they draft. I feel like something that's just a little bit stronger at zoning the Timbersaw. Sure, you get a fast level 6 on Tide, but that hero isn't going to scale or do as much as a Timbersaw can, and you're giving him farm. So maybe something that could just shut him down more in lane.
It's hard because every time you hit him, he gets tougher to hit.
Yeah.
He gets more HP regen per second.
This is where the jungle heroes could come into play. There is a Chet. There's a Chet in the pool. There's an Enchantress as well. They do already have a Visage and a Prophet, so it would weaken their mid-game team fight a lot. But Orange has been known in the past for lots of early movement. I mean, even a Shadow Demon, a Rubik, a Sand King perhaps. Dignitas go for the Rubik though.
Yeah, Rubik, I mean, we just saw way too sexy play earlier, stealing the Naga Siren song.
Man, was he on point or what?
He was. And let's see if he could be on point this game. Although, to be fair, his starting earlier pulls and nice, cute telekinesis lift was a little bit shaky.
Yeah, and I think you could really see the lack of proper boot camp because they had set aside a month, but they didn't have internet for 3 weeks. They talked about that in the introduction video for themselves when they got interviewed by Valve, and you could see it here where those pull timings a little bit off. Had it been something they got a chance to practice, wouldn't have happened. But well, they've had a game on the main stage. The nerves that Way Too Sexy is experiencing game one, hopefully they're gone.
Yeah.
Because they'll need their best right now.
I mean, both teams coming off a win, that got to help their confidence. I got to say, though, I love their pickup of Alchemist and Timbersaw because you know Orange will take the fight to you. They will come one way or another, whether through smoke gang or very offensive wards being dropped. We saw against Na'Vi, they aggressively smoked, diving past towers and going for these kills. So you want to pick up heroes that is A, hard to kill, Alchemist, very tanky, Timbersaw, very tanky, and secondly, B, you want to pick up heroes that has dangerous nukes. Timbersaw, we saw what Snake King did last time. He just blew up like 4 people by himself.
And this I like a lot from RNG Sports. They get a Queen of Pain, always annoying to play against this any melee hero. The Shadow Strike damage, preventing you from bottling, limiting your ability to access the runes if you go for it. And it also just plays to what Orange is best at, which is abusing and taking advantage of their individual skill to snowball the lanes and roll from there. They're an aggressive lineup. Mushi's at the heart of it. And you give him a hero like Queen of Pain, this is one of his top 3 signature heroes.
Now, Mushi has not been playing mid today. Or are we going to see him back on Queen of Pain?
It could be a safe lane Queen of Pain. I mean, I guess that's not out of the question. It's hard to say with Mushi, but I do feel like this should be a Mushi Queen of Pain because to me, he just wasn't getting enough done on the carry role, and I think he's just best at those 1v1 solos.
He is in the solo championship.
Yeah, by the way.
For a reason.
He's, of course, 5v5 is a bit different, but you could even go back to the international too, and Mushi was beating everyone, even some of the solos for teams that would go on to finish really high up in the tournament. So Mushi, definitely a lane dominator. They get him a hero that can dominate the lanes. Also the Visage, a hero that can. So Orange, a lot of pressure on their laning stage, but they've got the heroes to try and make that happen.
I'd like to see Orange Esports pick up a Naga Siren. I feel like that's a hero that really goes well with what they have so far. They need a frontline tank. 5 base armor, 6 early game base armor is very important. You can see that Team Dignitas is afraid of minus armor. They ban out the Razor.
This is greedy.
Orange's turn to pick.
It's not bad. Again, it goes back to what they want to draft. They want to draft tanky heroes. And I got to say, AEI 2000, a lot of people give Emerald Bulldog as the best lone druid.
Are you giving him some props here?
AEI 2000, best lone druid NA.
I won't debate that.
All right. I mean, this is a guy that...
TC might have a thing or two to say.
Sure, that's fair enough.
Fear might want to argue with you,
But, I mean, this is a guy that kind of changed Dota when he said, yeah, let's get an armlet on our bear.
He is an innovator.
Right.
But there's no more armlet lone druid. Can he find a new strategy
There's
here?
still Midas into Radiance. There's still Maelstrom into Radiance. And we have heard teams in the past said, hey, Radiance buff on bears actually make the bear stronger now. So
it used to do 35 damage per second a couple of patches ago. Now it does 50. So that item in an AoE has gotten a whole lot stronger. But if you're RNG Sports, you don't plan to let AOI 2000 even farm the Gloves of Haste for the Midas, let alone the whole thing, let alone the Radiance. They'll be aggressive early and often. If you're Dignitas, though, I mean, I think overall these heroes do pretty much fit their playstyle. You mentioned being tanky, but also what we're looking at are heroes that can avoid fights if they don't want to take them. Lone Druid, good split pusher, same for the Timbersaw, same for the Alchemist. If you're Dignitas and you have a good start, you're in fantastic shape.
My question is Timbersaw being played on the off lane? Because looking at this lineup here, I think Snake King is going to be going mid with Alchemist. We're going to see Lone Druid on the safe lane, and then Timbersaw on the off. That's what I'm guessing.
Oh, boy.
And here we go. A hero that could tank in the front line, which Orange Esports sorely needs. A hero that could give him the stun damage, give him the quick damage, and more importantly, give them the initiation, because so far they don't really have that either. So Chaos Knight, a very, very important pickup.
Yeah, I'm very worried for Dignitas now, because their lanes just don't look that strong. Whoever's farming in the safe lane, assuming they don't go aggressive try and dodge, is a melee hero that's probably squishy. The Lone Druid, maybe you put him there, but most likely you want him reserved for the off lane for the 1v1 matchup. So that puts either an Alk or a Timbersaw into a tri lane. And a Rubik doesn't have much damage. They don't have a Shadow Demon if someone gets jumped. And right now, if you're Orange, I think an Ancient Apparition might be in the off lane. Great offensive try hero, can put global pressure on the map with the Prophet. And if you go for the, what's it called, the damage
Chilling Touch?
The Chilling Touch at level 1, that's potentially 450 damage before reduction across your 3 heroes.
Yeah, also one thing to mention is that...
At level 1.
5 seconds
remaining.
Okay.
And that gets better.
Yeah.
One thing to mention about Orange Esports is that when they play on Dire, what they really like to do is run this like gang train down to the enemy jungle, hide in the trees, and then they make some early tango plays. So I think that's something that we look towards to, because if you are running offensive trialing, which I think Orange Esports will, and if you pick up like 2 kills in the beginning, suddenly you win that lane hardcore.
And they actually tried to do it versus Na'Vi a little bit. They were lurking in the trees. They tried to, remember, they tried to bait them with the Lone Druid Bear. Now, Na'Vi didn't fall victim to that. They saw it coming. Will Orange? That's the question.
Undying Pan.
They want to go aggressive. Undying, one of the best heroes to punish aggressive Trines. He's been removed from the pool. Now the way is open. What is Dignitas going to go for? They'll go for an Enchantress. Now, if you look at how the Alliance has had success against aggressive tri-lanes, it's largely Ake's jungle play. So my question is, do Dignitas, can they get enough done with this way too sexy Enchantress to defend the tri-lane?
I mean, I'm assuming we're going to see a Rubik and Lone Druid on the safe lane. So in lately, they're going to be okay in terms of defensive power. But I mean, some lineups just don't care if you have a bear in front. You know, you talk about Ancient Apparition, Chaos Knight, Visage. They'll see you, they'll stun you, and you're dead. So I'm quite worried for Team Dignitas.
I think Orange have mostly gotten what they wanted in this draft. They got their Visage. They got one of Ohio's stronger heroes in the Nature's Prophet. And probably the Mushi Queen of Pain. I think it will be a KYXY Chaos Knight. We'll have to wait until they lane it to confirm. But either way, to me, these are just Orange Esports heroes. They'll go for a lane, so you know it's an aggressive tri-lane coming their way. Orange are looking probably for a first blood, but certainly for a lot of early kills. And Dignitas, their lineup much more defensive in nature. But if Dignitas gets to the mid game and Orange is not significantly ahead, I give Dignitas a pretty big advantage.
I mean, Lina, like you said, her scales will taper off a little bit down the road, but early game, she's queen in terms of following up to KYXY, just dropping all the nukes possible. And to be honest, your Universe is not going to get tanky. Is Universe really playing Alchemist?
So Universe generally is the off-lane player for Dignitas. Is it possible he's going to the off-lane 1v1 against the Nature's Prophet? I suppose you could put the Timbersaw in the tri-lane, maybe put AUI 2000's Lone Druid mid. Because I think the Lone Druid will be a better matchup versus Queen of Pain than the Alchemist or the Timbersaw.
At the same time, you really need levels on your Alchemist or Timbersaw as well, but we'll talk about that later. It is yet another elimination match, this one between Dignitas as well as Orange. Loser goes home and winner, well, they move on. AUI 2000 going up on the offensive, or on the suicide lane as a Lone Druid. We have, looks like Way Too Sexy joining. This is straight up Alliance. Really taking a page out of their playbook.
Yeah, looking maybe to dodge the tri-lane. Of course, that doesn't round out Dignitas just yet. We've got Universe on the Alchemist, heading to the safe lane. He said he doesn't get nervous. Mel questioned it. We'll find out if the nerves are a factor soon. Snake King, brilliant performance in Game 1, or rather his first series. Can he repeat it? We'll find out. As for Fogged on the Rubik, he'll be warding for the time being. But on the other side, you've got Orange Esports. Right now, Dignitas looking to play the role of the spoiler. The Malaysians will want to say something about it here. KYXY on the Chaos Knight. Mushi going to be handling the Queen of Pain. Ohio, your Nature's Prophet. Extinct on his Visage, which wins seemingly almost every game. Net on the Lina. Orange, they should have been favorites coming into this match, but Dignitas, they have nothing to lose and everything to play for. They were counted out before the tournament even began.
I'm sure they won't agree with the nothing to lose because last year as bottom, they were not invited to the tournament when they were really, really good. So I think they have a ton to play for, and let's see if they can show it. Look at these de-warding, or warding at least earlier, to block every single camp. They're expecting Enchantress to be on the defensive jungle. It seems like, well, they're wrong on that. KYX
early on.
Ohio should be okay.
So they're setting the Lone Druid to the off lane. He's going to pull the creep wave. Orange are looking to go aggressive try, and Dignitas putting the Rubik as well as their Alchemist bottom. You'll notice that Orange has a pretty good Observer Ward here, so Dignitas unlikely to be able to pull. Now, last time they ran a dual lane in the safe lane against an aggressive tri-lane, which was their previous game, they ran a Morph Lane Wisp. This dual lane to me is much easier to kill. Rubik and an Alchemist don't have the escape mechanisms or the survivability of these heroes, so their positioning needs to be pristine.
I mean, offensively, this lane is going to be a lot stronger as well, speaking of Orange, because they have a Chaos Knight in front that could tank and dive, and you have so much burst damage coming out from your Lina as well as Visage. So if anybody overstepped their boundary by a bit, they are in huge trouble.
Mushi on his quad mid early on, just taking the fight to Snake King. So far, leading in terms of CS. Mushi, one of the best 1v1 laners in the world. Can he completely shut him down? That's going to be really important. This is a lane that they need to crush, and right now, it's going pretty well for him. The safe lane for Orange is a Nature's Prophet. So far, as long as Dignitas aren't dying and aren't giving up too much in terms of farm, they'll be perfectly happy.
Well, we'll see about that, because Orange Esports always looking to strike. This lane really hits his peak at level 2, so I'm not sure if they're going to wait for that and then make it go a little bit later on. But to be honest, they really could make it go anytime they want, or at least anytime they see a support out of position.
Mushi, he goes for the double south, but actually, sorry, that was a Snake King south. Got excited there, thought Mushi got his cancel, but didn't use it yet. He likes to go for this double south build so he can really be aggressive in the early levels, and going for the 2 Healing Salves means you can trade hits, you can lose some HP, and then still have them back. On the top side of the map, way too sexy, continuing to stack some neutrals. He's got an Ursa, and for the time being, he's not being punished. He is getting some farm. We do want to keep an eye on Dignitas because they might be weaker in the bottom lane, but their ability to set up kills on the top side is way stronger. Once that bear hits level 5 especially, we could see a first blood on this Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, in fact, I think the best lane right now is the top lane for Dignitas because AUI is getting a ton of farm. A Prophet's not really going to walk in the lane to harass you, and if he does, Dignitas could be coming around with the creep and really kill him.
Fogged going for a cliff there on Extinct, slightly off the mark. There's pretty good base damage on the Visage. He'll do a lot of harassment here. He needs some backup. It honestly could be our first blood loom because he continues to chase. There is a Sal, but even if he doesn't get a kill, Fogged is off the lane, and that really limits your Alk, still driving him back. He won't go for the Soul Assumption in the end, but drives the Rubik off the lane. That means Universe gets nothing. So this bottom lane really going poorly. That being said, though, Dignitas doing very well on the other lanes on the other side of the map.
Yeah, way too sexy, still juggling away. Cannot really find like a really good gank creep, like your Dark Troll Warlord, or maybe your Centaur, or maybe your that big clappy creep. I don't know what's called.
The Ursa Warrior.
Ursa Warrior. I mean, they change your name every 2 seconds. I don't know, but. Back in the mid lane, more harassment.
Blink and you'll miss it. Mushi not going for the 2 points in Shadow Strike. You sometimes do see this in a range versus melee matchup, Quap versus any melee, but he'll go now for 2 points in the Scream. That'll shore up their mid-game ability to fight. Mushi, fantastic record on the Queen of Pain, but I think for Orange, I'm not convinced they've gotten enough done yet. They haven't killed Universe. In fact, he's going in middle lane. Sometimes Mushi gets too aggressive, but unfortunately it'll be a self-stun for that out. And here comes the rotation. This could be bad. Wait, Fogged, for the time being, he'll scout it out. So RNG Esports, it'll just be simple warding for them. No easy access into this mid lane.
I mean, they haven't done much in terms of kills, but they have done enough in terms of moving out of the lane. Alchemist is not in the lane anymore. He's just jungling, which is not a winning proposition for Team Dignitas.
Yeah, Alk's a pretty, as far as carries go, he's one of the more useful ones without farm because you still have a good stun and you have the minus armor debuff and damage from Acid Spray, but it's not ideal. Alk is fantastic at farming. You have Grievel's Greed. You want him to get something. They'll put a little more faith in their lone Druid. AUI 2000 already 19-4, mostly keeping up with the enemy Chaos Knight, and now Orange, they'll TP Ohio into this bottom lane. He also may dodge a bullet here, because way too sexy finally got that ganking creep, but Ohio's nowhere to be found. They're diving bottom. Fog with a good lift, now throwing KYX way back, but he's got treads, and he's not going to stop chasing. Runs him down in a hurry. Now could get trampled. Watch out, Fog. That's first blood to RNG Sports. Nothing he could do there.
And they're going to get a tower off of that as well. I really like the fact that KYXY did not use a Chaos Bolt. Mana is precious on this hero. He knows they're going to get the kill with 4 people rotating. So the treads plus the Reality Rift was all he needed to do. And here comes the tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, though, is there any trade-off up on the top lane? They're trying to get some damage on that tower up top, but it's just in a very, very healthy position. Of course, they could still use Glyph. They could still TP the Prophet back. Well, they're not doing that just yet. T1 up top. Oh, there you go. Double TP.
Yeah, double TP. They won't go in one at a time. They'll make sure they bring everyone, and the creep's going to go Net's way. So now a big creep wave goes to Orange. They took the tier 1 bottom. Now, generally when you see a team take an early tier 1, you like to see them go for 2 or make sure the enemy team is being pressured on that lane. And you can see Ohio still on the bottom lane, still applying some pressure. He won't give Universe any easy farm. And Ohio, if he wants to go phase boots, could really look to zone him out. But for me, I think RNG Sports are in their comfort zone now. They take an early tower, they're going to get some levels on their supports, and they're farming all their cores. Mushi's not dying. We saw that against Na'Vi. That's when they really struggled. And they also get a tower denied top. So RNG Sports, a pretty significant gold lead. 1,500, 5 minutes in.
Mushi takes a big chunk of damage on the mid lane. Almost got killed by the Dark Troll Warlord net, but he will be fine. He's actually starting to look for a kill. He does have his ultimate online, although don't have the max Scream of Pain just yet.
Yeah, they've got a pretty good lineup to punish that Quap when she jumps in, but Mushi's a bit too leveled up right now, and he's going in mid! Solo Snake King! They just had 3 here, and that's Mushi for you. If he sees an opening, he's not going to hesitate to take it.
Take back what I said about him not getting killed with the max Scream, because it does not matter.
I think he heard you, and he didn't like the sound of that.
That guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'll show you about my killing prowess. I mean, that's somewhat to be expected, though, right? Like, this isn't just horrible play from Dignitas. That's a bad matchup for the Timbersaw. He's great against melee heroes. Some ranged heroes, like Nature's Prophet, that don't do that much magic damage, he's good against. But this is a matchup where he struggles. Mushi in his comfort zone. At some point, Mushi's going to find kills. So if you're Dignitas, you just have to get more off the map elsewhere.
Yeah, at the early game, Timbersaw, it's pretty decent because of reactive armor against kind of like slow harass, like your Shadow Strike and right clicks, but not as good against the big nukes damage, and that's what we saw to Mushi. Here comes yet another push up top. I really like the fact that Orange has rotated the lane up top, zoned out AUI 2000. and got some farm. But here comes Timbersaw, as we saw in the previous game. Well, here comes the initiation, 2 seconds stun, and now they will follow through it. Snake King will be going down. The Bear in trouble as well. That's 300 gold. Mushi says, I'll take those as well.
Mushi quickly getting richer, and Orange Esports, it starts to remind you just a touch of that game one between Na'Vi earlier today and Orange, where Orange just got ahead super early, kept on taking towers, never let up the aggression. It's not there yet. Their 5-man isn't quite as strong, but they are definitely in control, and it's Dignitas on the back foot. They're slightly hunting Mushi here, but with a DD root, not an easy target. The tower's dropping low. In comes the chakra. They want this tower. They'll get it, but can they get out? KYXY, massive damage onto him. Still running. He's got some stick charges here. The Bear pulled back in by the recall.
Oh, what a sprout.
A lift and a throw back, and they get a much-needed kill. Finally, Dignitas are on the board.
Very, very important kill. Unfortunately, Dignitas did not get the tower denied, so Orange already did what they set out to accomplish. Mushi, meanwhile, pressuring in the mid lane as well. Mushi, by the way, not going for his standard double no talisman build, which is fairly odd. He generally liked this build for more stats, kind of more spam, and really just a very, very strong right click damage.
I like this adjustment a lot, because the thing about the double no talisman build is when you go for that, it's just a snowball. You get the too early no talismans, you keep on crushing your lane, but Snake King's not the easiest hero to kill, and in the mid game, Orange lacks a bit in terms of their 5-man, so they need to make that up. Oh, Universe
nice
dropping low in the bottom lane. Will be able to TP out. He gets away, but I mean, it's more pressure. He's not really catching up. He's actually got 29 CS, better than expected, but still not having an easy time in terms of farm. But I think Mushi does need a utility item that helps his team. Something like the Orchid, the Sight Device, or even a BKB. So I think this is a good build.
Yeah, generally a lot of Queen and Playing player likes to upgrade that boot speed first into like an Intrets. So far he's not making that upgrade yet, but I think he will do soon. Also back in the mid lane here, we did see a very important tower denied by AI 2000. Denying that T1, kind of limiting a lot of Orange's gold, because they spent a couple of players there pushing for quite a bit, and having that deny was a big deal.
So if you're Dignitas right now, you really do need to get some levels on your supports. This Enchantress level 5, 8 minutes in. You go back to the Chen game that we saw earlier, where there was a Chen level 5 at 3.5 minutes. They need some more levels on Enchantress especially. You need that impetus, and Fog's got to hit level 6, and he's just run straight into his jungle. Could be in a slight bit of trouble. KYXY roaming in. It is nighttime. The vision for Dignitas is there, freshly placed
getting chased down. Fog that has only 300 forwarding movement speed. We know KYXY working for 380, but looks like he's not going to make that die. But that's what you need to do as Orange. You keep up the pressure, make sure the support can't do whatever they want in jungle. They're grouping up for now, and of course Queen of Pain has every spell available. I think they're going to try to make a kill.
They're going on Mushi, they'll lift him up, they'll throw him back, but Fog, he's been stunned. In comes Snake King, massive damage, it's enough! They get Mushi, Mushi's down. KYXY able to TP out. And that's Timbersaw for you. This guy, he just delivers. What a lot. That's a load of damage, man.
Yeah, perhaps that was not the best fight for Orange, as they basically roamed 2 into the enemy jungle. I think what they're looking for was a quick pickoff and backing out, because generally when you lose one ally on your team, you want to, let's say, punish them for pushing a mid tower, or you punish them by pushing top tower. They haven't done any of that, so they basically just traded a Queen of Pain for a support hero, and that's never a good trade for Orange Esports.
I feel like Orange isn't getting enough done right now to me. Visage, not level 6, Extinct. We talked about how he's racking up the kills every game. Right now he's 0-0-1. Not level 6 yet, already 10 minutes in.
And a Midas.
And now, well, the comeback mechanic could be in. We'll have to wait and see. But AUI 2000, first the Midas, now you'll build towards the Radiance. That's generally been the build. We'll see what he goes for here, but now they're going on bottom lane. They want this out, but Universe, he just sniffs it out and he'll TP away. They just dewarded, so because of that, he knew something was coming his way and he gets out.
And again, if Team Dignitas doesn't want to be found, you are not going to find them. So, and of course, when you do find them, it's for waiting. So let's see if the offense of Orange will be stymied. They're so far not really, again, getting too much done. And slowly, Dignitas will kind of outwidow you, outgrind you in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that Orange doesn't have access to late game. It's not that they don't have split push or heroes that scale well far, because they do, but it's just that Orange's lineup, a lot of these picks and the way they laned it were built around crushing the tri-lane and snowballing their heroes. Mushi found that kill mid, but then he died. He is rushing an Orchid, not even bothering to upgrade the tread, so a bit vulnerable here. But I still don't feel like Orange has gotten enough done. To me, I think Dignitas, yes, trailing by 4K gold, but they're holding on to some territory. They're still getting farm up with the Alchemist. They are not out of this game yet.
Yeah, and again, if Orange don't farm and don't get a huge advantage by the mid game, I think Dignitas should have basically the hero advantage, because once the Radiant Spear comes out, your Lina, your Visage, your Nature's Prophet are basically free food in team fights.
Yeah, if you're Orange, there are some items you'll want to get before your next big clashes. I think the biggest one is the KYXY BKB. He's working his way towards that. There's also Mushi's Orchid. He's still a couple of minutes off, to say the least. They've got some time here. They now have the Visage Familiars online. It's a level 6 for Extinct, but they don't want to wait too long. You don't want to let the Radiants come out. Within the next 5 minutes, Orange should be looking to pick a fight.
Yeah, Ohio had 2.4k gold here. It wasn't the Hand of Midas, like the game that they played against Na'Vi. It wasn't the mech, which I thought he might build for better push or better team fight. But no, he just wants Shadow Blade. He just wants damage. He wants Skank. And right now, they're crashing into the Roshan, which I don't think Dignitas could do anything about. They'll give it up for free.
Mushi's hunting, but Universe, he can just TP away. And Mushi's not able to find that many solo kills this game without his supports. They'll go for Roche, though, and you get a Roche. Dignitas, they are farming. They've got to know this is a possibility, but against Visage, with the Medallion, it's pretty hard to stop when you're behind. I think it's fine for Dignitas to give this away, but for Orange, it's all about what do you do next. They'll give it to Mushi, DD Rune up for him, Aegis as well. Orange Esports, they've taken Roche. They now lead 4-2. They've got a good gold lead here, still around 4,000. They are going to be on the aggressive, and Dignitas will want to stay back.
Well, they've been doing a very good job dodging fights so far. Let's see if they keep it up, because AUI, again, just being left alone. A lot of teams says, we'll just let you farm Beamwell, though. Looks like we have a gank on the bot lane. Universe in huge trouble. Barely makes it out by TP.
Wow, just caught the tail end of that. Man, he barely dodged a bullet there, but that's like the 3rd or 4th time he hasn't gotten ganked where Orange tried to. That time they really put some more effort, but the thing is, they can just push the bottom lane instead. So they force him to TP off. AUI will put some pressure on top, but Orange, well, they've got a glyph here. Do Dignitas. They do as well. I think with the DD Rune on Mushi, they're going to push faster.
Says goodbye to your push.
Well, there's still some familiars here. They're staying out of the Chakram for now. Mushi plinking away, but there's no creep support. The backdoor protection kicks in.
Again, it feels like they have really discovered the fact that Chakram, as from Timbersaw, just fits so well to their playstyle. They just want to defend and then split push. Meanwhile, AUI perhaps in a little bit of trouble because the Smoke Gank party is going their way. Lina does have her Laguna Blade, so that should be enough burst damage in terms of killing AI. They see AI, and AI Midas.
It's daytime, though. They can't get too close here. They've got to wrap around the tree line. Now the smoke revealed. AUI on the run, 346 base move speed to 380. But the jig is up, and RNG Esports, normally a team that connects on smoke ganks, just not able to really find the kills. 4-2. This is a pace that favors Dignitas.
And this is a pace that they're very comfortable playing with. This is how they play Dota. When they wake up, eat breakfast, and play this kind of Dota.
Slow the game down, relax, farm, split push, and then choose your fights. Don't get forced into fights. Orange is not successful in forcing them. They throw KYXY in mid. He doesn't have a BKB yet. I mean, I think with those items, maybe they can be more aggressive, but to me, it's just a Dignitas pace right now. They're relaxed, and they're taking it slow.
Mushi with the Aegis on the bot lane, trying to find that solo pickoff. He needs somebody else, and Nature Prophet will be his friend. Link in here. Here we go. Ultimate being used from Universe, and that will be the end of it. Because when you use your ultimate on Alchemist, he gains a ton of health.
They might find way too sexy. He jukes in the trees. He's going to TP out, but they found the king. Snake King's dead. The crown rolls off his head for now. He'll pick it up soon. But RNG Sports, they found a kill on the best counter pusher in the enemy team.
Yes, that's a huge kill.
And
now
so
they're going to go straight to the bot lane and try their best to knock down the tower.
Honestly, it's really unfortunate for Dignitas because they would have much rather lost their Rubik there than their Timbersaw, because look what's happening. They're all grouped up. They've got an Urn on net. They've got good early to mid-game items to force this tower. And this time, there is still a glyph, but there's no push from AUI. He's all the way at his tier 2. Tower is going to go to Orange, almost certainly.
Is under attack.
They have a couple of towers to give up because, again, I feel like Dignitas' mid-game is a lot stronger. In fact, they are going to defend this.
Mushi's on the prowl. He's in Viz, and he's wrapping around. If he gets a big backstab ult, this could be a disaster. Dignitas, though, do they know? No, oh, there is a sentry on, way too sexy, but
they don't know. They think they have a safe defense by snaking.
This doesn't smell good. This doesn't feel good for Dignitas. Can they find a way out? They'll throw out the shotgun. They'll slow down the push, but here comes Mushi. Now he's looking to unload. Not throwing the ult just yet. The chakram coming back. There's Zero. He hit 3. Now on to Snaking. Snaking in trouble. He's going to fall, and Mushi's out for blood. Give him more. 3 kills to Mushi. He's just hit the jugular, and he's tapping it for all it's worth.
This is why you want to see Mushi on the mid lane. When he senses weakness, he dives for kills, and he gets it very safely. He still had Aegis, so he doesn't really care. Meanwhile, back in the bot lane, tier 2 will go down. Mid push is deflected. Top push is defended. I mean, Orange Esports strikes a big one.
But there is a Radiance Bear. It's coming pretty soon. AUI 2000 up to 3,400 gold. I still feel, Ned taking a lot of damage from these creeps. He'll be okay. He's still got an Urn charge there. If the game goes on and Orange don't keep on taking those fights, Dignitas should be comfortable. And hey, they got a bit lucky there. They had an Invis Rune, Dignitas didn't have a gem, didn't have sentries, but all it takes is a few more fights. Suddenly the tier 2 falls mid, and suddenly Dignitas may have trouble leaving their base. And with the new Lone Druid Bear giving a 300 gold bounty, it wouldn't surprise me if Orange looked to just gank it if it turns into a turtle game from Dignitas.
I mean, 300 gold or not, they have to gank it because they are not going to beat it in a team fight that lasts more than, let's say, 5-10 seconds because the Radiance damage will just add up way too quickly.
And they have no mech and they have no pipe, which generally you want to see at least one of those against a Radiance.
I mean, sure, Mushi's doing well, and CK has a BKB, which is also good. He's going for drums, and of course, Nature's Prophet has a big item. But if you look at Lina, he's working with 380, 850 HP with an Urn, and if you look at Visage, he's got a Medallion, which is not really going to help him tank against Radiance. So these two supports are my greatest concern if Team 5 breaks out with the Radiance doing it.
Yeah, and the other thing is once you get the Radiance, it just draws the lanes out, and it creates space for the other heroes on the team. But here comes Ohio, Shadowbladed up. He placed a ward wall under cover of it. He's given his team some additional vision. Will Mushi look to make use of it? Will they look to set up some additional kills? Finally, that Orchid's about to come out. It's actually a pretty fast one. It's not the fastest we've ever seen from Mushi, but this could be a game changer. A lot of easy pick-off targets with the Orchid.
Yeah, Orchid obviously on the squishy supports are basically free kills, but if you could prevent, for example, Alchemist from popping his ultimate, that would be huge. If you prevent Timbersaw from running away with Timber Chain, that's a free kill as well. So big item pickup. Let's see what they do with it, because so far, again, they're not finding many kills.
Way too. Walks right into Mushi, but Mushi's just going to back off. He's got his Orchid now. He'll wait for that. He'll bottle up, and he'll look for an Invis Rune here. Orange Esports, they need that second level of aggression. There's a Shadow Blade coming soon on Universe. In fact, he just purchased it. Aegis has got a little bit of time left, not a whole lot. This is their time to start really forcing the tier 2 mid. No, it's too late. Aegis is gone.
Well, Mushi, though, does have an Invis Rune.
Well, self-stun from Universe on a TP out, but that Nature's Prophet, teleport cooling down, can come right back. Good scouting so far, but they're not finding too much. I do want to point out Orange have a gem, so if Universe runs in with Shadow Blade, he could easily get picked off. And once again, Mushi's on the prowl. Invis Rune up.
Speaking of pickoff, this could be a kind of a dangerous go because you can have Prophet TP in, but also they're fighting their tower. Mio up top here. Suns, oh, they're going to find Fog. Fog just going to get blown up. Easy kill.
Yeah, just can't be there. And here comes Mushi from the backside, doing a lot of damage. He's got an ult. He's not throwing it yet, and he won't go for the high ground. Well, they only lose a Rubik, but the problem is once they lose one, and AUI's not pushing the top or bottom lane too hard, now the tier 2 mid's probably gone.
Yeah, even though they didn't get a kill on Snake King, he did enough damage to force him back to the fountain, and without Chakram, they are not going to hold the tower. Tier 2, easy taken down, and
Radiant's middle tower
slowly the choke is around Dignitas' neck, and it's closing quite rapidly.
Yeah, what was once a half Nelson may be turning in sooner and sooner into a full Nelson. They're really starting to asphyxiate Dignitas. The gold graph continues to go Orange's way. Knocked down to the loser's bracket, very unhappy with the way the series versus Na'Vi went, but not ready to give up just yet.
19 and 30 Radiance on a game that is so tough.
But speaking of here we go, look at Orange. Mid lane, they want to jump.
If they get a jump right now, it could be Rax.
It could also go the other way.
He's walking up, and oh no, Fog! Just look at these nukes. He's done, but looks like they're going to take this fight way too getting focused. BKB gets pop out, but the bear doesn't care. Phantasm breaking him out. Universe getting focused. Do we have more stun? Looks like we do have loss of Chaos Knight. And this Radiance bear, and it's just killing everybody. You do not take a fight against a Radiance bear.
Orange Esports throwing a lot of that advantage away. And Dignitas get a fresh lease on life. Lumi, there were some key mistakes there from the Chaos Knight of KYXY. Popped his BKB after losing about 2/3 of his HP. Didn't Phantasm out of root right away. He was just too slow on the trigger. When you jump in there, you just need to pop the damn thing, and it really cost them. Instead of having a full HP pool to work with, he was dead, and now Net dead as well. Give him 4 for Dignitas, and now they're pushing mid. This is starting to feel like their last series.
Oh, look at all these TPs. They want to take a fight. Bear gets resummoned right now, and the burst will stun AUI. If you get a KO on AUI, that's huge. They will bring him down or will him. LSA is going to finish the ult. Can they get any more? That was a costly defense on their tier 2, but at least they killed the Lone Druid.
It was actually only a Lina buyback. Looked like it was 2 or 3, but they did TP in a few mid. Obviously, Dignitas are real happy with how that went. I mean, sure, gold difference is still fairly even. There was a buyback to consider, not accounted for in the graph. Here comes Ohio hunting, but won't be able to stop this TP out. This is where Orange have tended to fall into problems in the past. They're so good in the laning stage, but that's not enough. You got to keep up the pressure, and you can't make those kinds of mistakes. They need to tighten the bolts, because if they don't, this is going to turn into Dignitas' game pretty soon.
Well, it looks like we are going to see more pressure on the mid lane. I like to see them actually tackling that tier 2 up top, and you can see that by setting up Prophet on the top lane, they are looking to do just that.
So Dignitas now, they've got their Radiance up on the Bear. Lone Druid respawning soon. They have a Shadow Blade on Universe. Now he's working towards a BKB. So too is Snakecane, although he's a long way off from it. But they're starting to get some really key items up on these heroes. And to be honest, Orange doesn't have that much physical damage. KYXY's illusions aren't going to last very long at all to Dignitas. He's not particularly tanky. Once these BKBs come out, I actually think Dignitas might be able to start taking some fights.
Yeah, and of course, very smart item pickup here on our Lone Druid. AI 2000 picks up a cloak. I mean, I feel like he's already very tanky. 1800 HP, 14 base armor, and now with the magic resistance, even Queen of Pain could be tanked somewhat. Here we go. Smoke up says Dignitas. We want to get some kills.
Roche is respawning soon. Universe in the front lines. RNG Sports, they've still got that gem on Extinct. And Dignitas on the hunt. They'll rotate through the river. They've got the high ground here, so they'll be able to scout things out. The smoke, now a sentry ward in the river. Orange, though, backing off. They're starting to play a little more scared. The Bear scouting the pit. Nobody engaging yet, and it seems like Dignitas, they'll do a bit of dewarding, and they'll back off in the end. It's all about the wrestle for Roshan control, and this is where Ohio should be king. He should be able to split push this out and draw Dignitas back. He can't get caught, though. They need him to take this Roche.
Way too. Smoke gets the spell, and Mushi sees him right now.
Invis on Mushi. He knows, but Dignitas, for the time being, pretty defensive formation for them. This is the Prophet advantage. This is why we see Alliance loves this hero, because when it comes down to these sorts of engagements, you can split push, and ultimately your opponents have to trade. Unless you get caught, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. If nothing happens, you're actually winning. Orange Esports now TP's back in. They're thinking about making that Roche attempt. Of course, Way2 has a Walken here, so he would kind of scout things out.
Yeah, they see it, and the question is, does Orange try to force a fight here? In the Roshan pit, a lot of these heroes get stronger. Acid Spray, Radiance Burn, as well as just all the AoE from Timbersaw. It's better in congested areas, which the Roshan pit is. Orange don't really excel in congested areas, but that being said, they've got a pretty significant item advantage, and they're going to look to force it. At least they're baiting Dignitas in. Back to the top lane goes Prophet, and up to the high ground goes Snakecane. He's in the front lines, throws out the nukes, drives Extinct back, but remember, Chaos Knight, BKB on the net. The Radiance burning him, 4-second stun on the Bear. No Phantasm, no BKB, there's no Ohio. In they go. KYXY blown up in a hurry. Snake King now chasing down Extinct. Where's the Prophet? Where's the coordination? RNG Sports crumbling. Now a familiar stun. That hit too. Onto another. Universe on the run. They're sprouted. They're trapped. They need more stuns. They're not getting them. A rainbow of TPs. AUI able to get out too. A 2-for-2 and a buyback.
Well, they are going to lose the Bear, but 2 death for 1 buyback and a trade from Visage. But
that's
Roshan,
Roche.
That's Roche, and there's nothing the Radiant could do about it.
They can send in this Radiance Bear, but if it dies again, that's so much gold. And I think Orange, they do want to force this. They can kill that Bear if it comes in.
Well, it's like you said, there's a lot of spells on Dignitas side that's good inside the Roshan pit. If you throw a shotgun inside that Roche, they really can't stop it. And look at Dignitas, they're just running towards it, and Orange knows they can't take it. They don't have enough base damage, so they back off.
I mean, give an advantage to Dignitas here. Trading, sure, the gold grab's going down a little bit, but I feel like that 10k gold deficit just matters less and less as both teams get more. Relatively, it's less. And in terms of how much their heroes scale, the items that are coming out for Dignitas are absolutely game-changing. BKBs on these heroes, the Timbersaw means they can go in, drop all their spells, right-click these supports, and just look to bring them down fast. And there's nothing Chaos Knight can do against that. There's nothing Queen of Pain can do against that. Hell, there's nothing Prophet can unless he gets off the site device first. So to me, this kind of pace, still favoring Dignitas, and they're still hanging on.
I mean, what is the best answer to the Spirit Bear? I guess you could put a medallion on it and right-click a stun, but I mean, it's got a ton of HP.
You know, generally against the Spirit Bear, it's just massive right-click damage and minus armor to bring it down. We've seen, I mean, some teams can just gank it early with chain stun, but I don't feel like RNG Sports has the mobility to quite pull that off yet. Sure, you've got a Prophet, but everybody else has to run around to set up ganks.
Yeah, Way2 very diligent on the Roshan check, sending in the Centaur now to make sure that nothing fishy goes on. Obviously, everybody get to this bot lane sort of quickly. They really don't have a tier 2 tower on mid or bot, and that's really making it a little bit difficult for Dignitas to challenge in Roshan attempt. But as a whole, the team is really good at pushing out the lanes. You see the Universe pushing out top, AUI pushing out mid. And for the most part, it's hard now for Orange to, for example, smoke into the enemy jungle and find kills.
Snake King close to his BKB. Your Alchemist for Universe almost has it. If you're on G-Sports, do you feel content with this? Can they just take it late at this pace?
No, there is no way. Not against that bear, especially with the Radiant, with the Hannah Midas accelerating his farm. Radiant's also accelerating his farm.
He's literally King Midas. I mean, AUI 2000 is just minting gold at this point. He's your leader in net worth, and here comes a big smoke
they
gang.
need to have the smoke gang work, because if they take a fight in the enemy jungle and lose it, like, I don't know, 4-2 or something like that, Roshan's
here
gone.
We go. On the Snake King. They
see Snake King, he's gone.
And he hooks away, but Mushi jumping in. They pulled him back and they bring him down. That's the power of the Orchid. Now they found Fox. He's in trouble. Blown up. 2-0.
Do you go Aegis or do you go push?
I think you take the tier. Well, there's no tier 2. I think this is Roche. This should be Roche for Orange.
Well, they're defending
TP mid. They're TP mid, and they should be going right into the pit.
Roshan is definitely the safer choice, but at the same time, they really, really lack base damage. We saw the multiple times they go into the pit, and it just takes them forever. In fact, I think dignitas could challenge them again.
It doesn't look like they want to, though. The Bear's up at the top lane, pushing that out. Universe heading towards mid. He does have a BKB now, but Timber saw no boots of travel, and Roche is dropping pretty damn quickly. Medallion, Familiars, the crits of the CK. It's not long for this world, and it's going to go down. Second Roshan of the game here, going to R.
Well, AUI seems to need to get a little bit tankier. Would you actually thinking about investing a Ghost Scepter on the actual hero, or do you want to get more damage on the bear? It seems like he's going for a Assault Cuirass, which is a fairly good choice.
I think that you do go for that Assault Cuirass, and then if the game drags on, you can go back for a Ghost Scepter. Because Assault Cuirass, Ghost Scepter only helps you stay alive. Assault Cuirass keeps your entire team more survivable against the Chaos Knight. And here comes a stun mid. Tempted, but gank's not going to work out. Universe backing all the way off. So Dignitas gave up Roche, but to me, I think that's just a tool for Orange to force fights. I don't feel like it's, okay, now we can just sit back and farm.
Yeah, and again, they keep needing to force fights. Although, of course, Assault Cuirass also help your Spear Bear to attack a lot faster. And again, I just don't think they have an answer for the Spear. Orange, as a group, looking for ganks, and they're farming their jungle as well, but they're slowly getting out farm. I know the gold chart doesn't look like it because we see a 10,000 gold lead, but...
Remember that Dignitas now no longer have a tier 2 mid. I believe their glyph is online. We can actually keep the buybacks up because it might come down to that in the end. And now, smoked up, heading through the Radiant Ancients, looking for an opening. The walk directly over a Radiant Sentry. Actually, just to the right of it. Not sure if that was spotted.
More sentries.
Yeah, I think they did see it, but they weren't looking from the sounds of it. At least not painting the map. Some teams do it, some teams don't. They're still on the move. Mushi, DD, BKB. It's go time for him, but he's just not finding the openings yet. And now, a quick TP away. As we talked, I mean, to be honest, to only be trailing 15-8 is really good defensive play and fight dodging by Dignitas.
I mean, they're still trailing by about 10,000 gold. It's been going up and down, and AUI has been doing a lot for his team, but is it enough? That's the thing. His bear is back, so he has 2 bears in the next team fight. I don't think Orange is actually strong enough to push up on the high ground. We talked about OG in needing about 20,000 gold lead, a mech, a pipe, things like that. They really just have nothing.
I mean, my problem for this team is that the only hero that really is going to get things done in the late game team fights in a 5v5 is a very fat CK. But there's so much AoE on Dignitas that the illusions are going to die instantly, even if the real hero lives, and CK is not the same.
I mean, a Timber Saw, 1 spell or 2, your illusions are done, right?
Yeah, that's pure damage, and your illusions are taking additional damage. They're not long.
Oh, here comes a BKB and Timber Saw, so he's not going to get blown up like that last time.
Here they go.
Look at this Phantasm being used. They really want this Rex. Here we go, defense will come. Chakram says, well, your push is done, or at least it's going to be slowed down.
Stun on the bear. Hey, KYXY staging it out. Now Mushi blinking away. Something stolen. Now a hook forward. God. They're going to fight. Net's caught out. Net's not dead yet. Mech is there. Medical assistance. There's a quad bolt. Does nothing really. Universe slow. Universe dead. Now it's to it. Now they're on the run. It's not the nukes. It's the DD on Mushi overrunning Dignitas.
AUI gets caught, gets sprouted. The right click goes on 3-second stun, and AUI is going to go down as well. That's a team wipe in front of the base.
The masters of dodging fights just decided to take one, and they did not account for the DD rune on Mushi. Everybody got butchered by it. It's a slaughter in the shadows.
There's a double damage on Mushi, so that bear, look at half HP, a quarter HP. That bear almost going to go down. Gets forced back.
He had that DD the whole fight, Louis. It completely blew them apart. And now, lane of Rex down for Orange. Can't count Dignitas out just yet. There's still a chance of a comeback, but it just got a whole lot harder.
I mean, look at the sharp drop in that gold graph. Ohio, of course, already have Cypher Vice and 3,700 gold in the bank. Just got something big. Nina now picks 4 staff. I mean, Sure, they don't lose Team Dignitas, but they're dealing with a new wave of items and even more levels. Keep in mind that AI also bought back, so that's not his assault carrier that's being finished.
I really don't know about the decision to take that fight so far outside of the base. I mean, ultimately, Orange Esports had a DD on Mushi, they had an Aegis on him. I think you really, as much as it sucks, you just have to play it a little bit slower and more patiently. Maybe send the bear to split push, maybe you lose the tier 3, but forcing and diving Orange, just a little bit too aggressive, and it really cost them.
Yeah, they saw the Lina very low and they thought they could get the kill, but the mech, I mean,
even if they killed that Lina, though, I don't think that was the fight anyway, because Net didn't do that much. It was mostly Mushi with the DD, as well as the Chaos Knight stuns.
I agree. I guess it's incentivized by, oh, the enemy team popped the mech for just a support hero. Let's make a jump. But it definitely did not pan out well for them.
And now RNG Sports, they've gotten one lane of Rax. They're keeping themselves in this game. They need at least one more, possibly two, to secure that victory. Dignitas hanging on for dear life, going for some more items, but Universe on the run. Ohio coming in, won't be able to catch him. They'll just push. There's no tier 2 top. Orange going for the jugular now. They're going to try and finish this series. 32 minutes in. Dignitas, this could be their last stand. They've got to force a fight here. Mushi, no DD rune this time. No buyback on him. Actually, no buyback on anyone but the Prophet. But here we go. Phantasm pop straight in, dodging the chakram on the way in, and now the Rex, the tier 3, under siege.
Nobody's really defending, so second chakram trying to slow it down, and they have blown every creep. We do have Alchemist trying to charge up a stun. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain blinks on the left side here, gets rid immediately, and Queen of Pain says, got the Aegis, no big deal. KYXY right-clicking away with the BKB. Timbersaw zoning out everybody out. He's popped his own BKB as well. KYXY, BKB's down, he's dropping low, but the bear just dies.
Mushi's got ult, Mushi's got BKB, he's not even dropping it yet. Dignitas, BKB from Universe, going on net. Mushi getting hauled on by the bear, still alive. Universe in trouble though. This BKB's dead soon. Mushi blinking away. Orange driven back. They've only taken one lane of Rex. A fresh wave of familiar stun. Now the stuns. No, it's Universe. Jams it in. Quap bolt's there. Doesn't do a thing really. And now Mushi low. 3 heroes dead for Dignitas.
Blinks away solo.
Universe going deep for this.
Oh my god. He's got another blink.
Radiance. There's
50,
Radiance.
30. Oh my god. Blinks it on.
Meanwhile, Ohio back into the fight. It's actually a three familiar army on the Universe. He thinks he can win this fight. I'm not sure he can. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. They hang on.
The stuns were on cooldown on those familiars, so they could not get the drop. I mean, was that a successful defense? They lost their tier 3. They lost a lot of items, and of course, this tier 3 tower is really in big trouble. One more push doesn't? Is that true or no?
They bought back on the Alchemist. That's a pretty big deal, because Universe with a basher, if you just catch Mushi with a bash, and you say if the root maybe wants in the fight, he's dead. Orange lost their Aegis, though. They lost their Aegis. Mushi ends up being forced all the way back to base, and they didn't quite break it. The real test is going to come with this second push. I think if Dignitas can defend against the second Aegis, assuming Orange gets it, which seems somewhat likely since they're on the dire side and they've got a lane of Rex down, if Dignitas defend that push, I think they take this game. But that is going to be a very hard push to defend.
Also in that last team fight, we saw the power and the combo and the synergy between Timbersaw and a Radiant Spear, because Snake King just does the initial burst damage, and whether they even focus on the Lina or Visage or not, the Radiant Spear just being in the team fight means that these supports are dying for sure. And sometimes knowing the fact that you don't have to chase out on these pesky supports, it's a pretty big deal. There's a 4 staff on Lina, so you don't want to be spending too much time chasing her down.
I mean, it's like you keep on saying, it's the freaking Radiant Spear. You combine that with the AoE from Snake King. By himself, even though he ended up going down in that fight, he drove like 3 heroes off the fight, and then AUIs and cleanup in aisle 3. I mean, they do drop fast. Net, 4 staff sure, but only 1,000 HP. The Visage is a bit tankier, but the illusions for CK are dying very fast. Dignitas has so much damage. If they weren't this far behind, they probably would have won by now, but because they are, Orange still leading this game.
Well, do we give up on Papa Bear on the bot lane? He's got the AC finish. If he gets an MKB...
You can't give up on this bear. This thing starts to pack a punch.
Yeah, you talked about the split pushing power earlier. It's going to keep on getting there. I think we might need to have some smoke gangs on these bears, because if you get a kill on them and, for example, get another kill on him during the actual team fight, AUI is actually done.
Yeah, Dignitas will not win a fight without the Radiant Spear. If it's dead before the fight breaks out, there's just no way. That is so much damage, and it also helps keep their team alive against heroes who now start to scale with physical damage. You look at this Nature's Prophet for Ohio. He's got access to his data list. He might just buy it now, but he's saving for buyback. He's got it for the time being. I mean, he's hitting hard. Mushi's going to go towards the site device. Quap does respectable physical damage with 2 int-based items, which we'll soon have. And then you even look at the Chaos Knight, who, well, it's going more of a tanky utility build, but hey, you get a Sanj, you hit a little bit harder. Orange is starting to pack physical damage, so keeping the bear alive is really essential in these fights.
He wants to upgrade that Sanj into Heaven's Halberd because a lot of damage is coming out from that bear.
And I believe you can disarm the bear.
Yes, you definitely can, and that thing will be disarmed.
Okay. So no right click, still get the Radiance Burn though.
Still do, but definitely. I mean, if there's an AC and a Radiance on him, he will be hurting quite a bit.
Okay, so if you're Dignitas now, you know Orange is going to go for Roche number 2 at this point. They haven't forced another fight. What do you do, Lumi? Do you try and just let Prophet split push and contest the Roche, or do you accept that they're going to have it and just look to farm and push out the other lanes?
I think you could do both. I think when you have kind of really good pushing heroes, like the bear with the Radiance, you could just push out the mid lane like he's doing now, rotate that bear up top, and roam as a team and push out that bot lane, because there's one thing that's tried and true in kind of history of professional Dota. If you're down 1 Rax against the Nature's Prophet, your win rate gets just so low because it's hard to come out the base, it's hard to push against these big creeps, and you really need to have something to kind of even it. And I think the Radiant Spear actually does. If you look at the top, he's defending against a huge wave without even needing the hero being there, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, this Panda is a beast, but in they go to the Roche pit. Roshan coming soon. No contest in sight. Is there a smoke? No smoke on Dignitas. Oh, sorry, there is. On the Enchantress. She's got one. Let's see if they look to contest. If they don't, it's going to be tough.
Oh, the DD. What a lucky rune.
Mushi getting these DDs and Invis runes at the crucial moments might be turning.
That Roche is dead. Like, there's no way that Team Dignitas will get there on time.
And now it's a Daedalus for Ohio. It's going to be Aegis and Cheese, and Dignitas are coming in, but it looks to be too late. In the front lines of Snake Cave. He can hook, he can slam, and he can jam if he wants. He throws in the chakra, hooks to the high ground, not doing much there. BKB wasted. Mushi on the run. Back into the fray of Snake King. KYXY standing strong. There's Zero. He just blew him up. Gets 2. Mushi looking for more. Still has Aegis. Still hunting and driving them all back in the pit. 3 down. Dignitas giving away an Aegis, giving away a Cheese, and possibly losing their entire team.
You guys gonna make it out alive by TP. Oh no, he won't! Net, just on the barely last second, is gonna find the bear. And the bear's now dead.
And that's the risk if you do contest Roche. They lose 4 and they give up Aegis and Cheese, and that just might be game.
Yeah, Snake King popped the BKB, hooked up to the high ground, and just was completely ignored until his BKB went down, and that was it. Orange Esports now breaking high ground.
This is it. They're going to take 3 lanes of Rex here. There's no buybacks on Dignitas. Dignitas started in the lower bracket. They had a nice first game, but Mushi is out of control, and RG Esports showing that there's a reason why they were there. They move on. Orange guaranteed top 8 finish now.
Orange Esports felt that they could take an entire series off Navi, but they show that they're not dead yet.
They took a game off Navi. They felt they should have had that series. They fell short, and they're still trying to work to repair the damage. But a big win for RG Esports. Guaranteed top 8 finish. As for Dignitas, though, the road does end here, but they had an admirable showing even in defeat.
Yeah, the bear was strong at the end. It was just not enough. And of course, Orange Esports, a team that's not exactly in familiar territory in terms of being the lower bracket, but they always go very deep in the tournament. It's a team that you never count out.
It's one of those teams you don't want to have to run into in the lower bracket. And with that being said, we'll throw it back to the analyst, James. Take it away.
Thank you, Aldi and Lumi, once again for your continuous commentary. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of them later. I'm not sure, we got an all-star match coming up later,
yes.
I do believe. Not sure who's going to commentate that, but I'm sure all the commentators would like to, because it should be awesome. But back to the story at the hand. Team Dignitas will be going out. 1 win, 1 loss, but that will be the end of their tournament series here at the International, and Orange Esports will move on. The game, it was a best of 1. There was a lot on the line. How did both teams handle it?
I think Orange took control early on as expected, especially with the Wizards pickup, and we finally get to see Mushi's Queen of Fame.
Yes.
Very excited to see that, and that turned out really well for them.
It actually did. I wanted to check the final score, but I don't have it now.
Do you want Mushi's? He was 7-1-15.
7-1-15. That's amazing. And also, one stat that I didn't keep track of, but I wish I have, is how many Invis and DD he got. He got every single invisible rune, damage, double damage rune. Whatever he needed, he had it. And I'm not saying that Orange won because of that, but it certainly helped a lot.
Yeah, Ben, anything to...
Yeah, I wasn't really... I'm still not sold on snaking solo mid with Timbersaw. It just... It's not really their strategy, and you could tell that they haven't practiced it. And I've seen Aoi play the Lone Druid many times, and to be honest, that was the only reason they were in the game that late, is his Radiance farm on the Bear. And
his Midas.
It just didn't look like a clean, well-oiled strategy from Dignitas.
It's also a completely different matchup, going from a Weaver to a Queen of Pain that can actually punish him with the Shadow Strike.
Yeah.
And that's always going to play an important role when you do put a melee in on the middle lane.
Yeah, Mushi was having the time of his life in the early stages of the game, and also with some of the kills that they were able to pick up throughout the match itself. And I believe we've got some kills for you here. I hope they're from Orange.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this is, and it is Mushi as well. So got invisibility. It's going to start a Shadow Strike onto Universe, and you can see here Mushi so well timed. Actually comes in and screams and hits free. Now, I was surprised that Fog didn't want to steal the ultimate there from Mushi, but he did actually have the Nature's Wrath. So he decided I'd maybe not exchange, but it didn't work out for him. And this one as well, snaking, trying to get away, but not going to happen, and a very swift kill. And I do believe they pick up Fault here as well.
Something I got to notice with this series is Chaos Knight is actually a really good counter to it with the Reality Rift against the Timbersaw.
Yeah. Timbersaw was very relevant in the mid stage of the game until basically CK was tanky enough to kind of stand there, and at the same time Furion, I think it was Ohio playing the Nature's Prophet, was able to pick up a sheep. Once there was one sheep on the field, it was very hard for Timbersaw to actually go in, because once you're sheeped and CK's on you, it doesn't matter.
Well, we saw
CK
get destroyed by Timbersaw earlier today. Maybe because it was because of the Shadow Blade, which we like almost never see. But Timbersaw generally does pretty well versus strength heroes like that. If you cut out 15% of their primary attribute, which is strength, that cuts out a lot of their HP with just one whirling blade. So typically he does okay, but when they're that far ahead,
he didn't really have the same item progression. I think he went straight BKB, no Bloodstone. That's obviously gonna matter a whole lot as well. He doesn't have the same mana pool and HP for that matter to actually engage into combat.
And they definitely needed that BKB as well. So well played by Orange. And we're actually going to go to an interview with Casey with the winners of the match, of course, Orange Esports.
That's right. Thank you, James. I'm here with KYXY. And first off, congratulations. How did it feel in there?
I feel very happy because we counted as top 8 already.
What would you say was the key to your win?
We try to, because before our game start, we saw their game, so we know which hero they are good in. Then we ban it. Yeah, then we play very easily.
Now, you're going to be facing either LGD Int or Fnatic. Do you have any preference over which team you're hoping to face next?
Which team? Fnatic and which team?
Fnatic and LGD Int.
Oh, I think we prefer face LGD Int.
Why is that?
Because we always fight with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of a rivalry?
Yes.
Yeah? All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. Congratulations. Best of luck, and we'll check back in with you soon. I'll send it back to you, James.
Thank you, Casey. So, yeah.